I found this game to be quite intense.
Okay.
Regardless,
I think I know what it is.
Yeah, that's SWAT 4, which is the Irrational games, made by the BioShock guys before
they did BioShock.
And man, that's a really cool game. It's kind of Rainbow Six-y, where you have like a squad of dudes with you, and you're going into like crime scenes, usually hostage situations.
Yeah.
To try to basically, you're the SWAT team.
Yeah.
You're trying to apprehend the bad guys and just rescue the hostages. But the cool thing about this game is every time, well, first of all, you have the squad of dudes and everything. It's very deep, like as far as everything that you can do in the game. Like you have all kinds of weapons and items and like you have pepper spray and like tasers and all kinds of grenades and stuff.
Sounds like a bunch of wussy weapons.
SWAT members use pepper spray?
Yeah, pepper spray.
Well, yeah, because the thing is, you get a better score by not killing all the like you get the best score when you beat the stage by arresting them.
Yeah.
But you would get into these situations where they have a gun and you're pointing at them and they have a hostage and you're like you're saying freeze and you don't know if it's a situation where he's going for a gun. Maybe he's going to shoot a hostage or shoot you. This isn't like a first-person shooter. If the enemy shoots at you and gets a good shot, like unsuspectingly, you're dead and you have to start the level over again. So it's all about approaching these situations in a smart, safe way, like banging and clearing every single doorway just in case.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Like a real SWAT team?
Like a real SWAT team.
I actually really, like, when I first played...
so this is nothing like... I'm sorry.
I mean, back when I played Rainbow Six, like the first one, I think it was. The first one I played was the one on the N64. That was kind of like what got me into the series.
I'm talking about old school Rainbow Six, not modern Rainbow Six.
The new ones become more of a just straight up third person shooter. The older ones were more tactical and more, you had to think a lot more about it before you.
Especially in this one too, because you're supposed to report like anybody injured or killed or like weapons. You have to like take them into evidence and stuff. Which it's all, they have a lot of context sensitive stuff where you're just hitting on the space bar and it's pretty smart and it knows what to do. But it just feels really deep and satisfying. But the best part about the game is that what makes it so tense is that every time you play a level, whether you die and restart and everything, and you'll die and you'll restart if you fuck things up, is completely different.
Yeah.
Everything is randomized, and as far as where the hostages are, like where the enemies are, what they're doing, where the weapons are. So when you approach a big open situation, and it reminds me of kind of like a Hitman level, big and open, people moving around. You don't know what's coming. You don't know if through this door there's going to be nothing, or through this door there's going to be two guys, with the guns pointed at you.
What?
So
sorry, he said you open a door and you don't know if there's going to be two guys, and I thought he was going to say one cut and one cut. It just for some reason that just clicked in my mind as you said.
That joke is not only 2 years late, but it was not even that funny. Okay, so what was I saying?
SWAT 4.
Yeah, and I think a lot of what makes the game good comes from the locations, because they're big and open, and there's so many like places where people could be, but you got to explore it all. It reminds me of really well-made Hitman levels, and even the scenarios are really cool. Like there's one level where you're tracking down a serial killer, and you found his house, and you have to explore his. You have to like find him in his house, but they give you all this information in the debriefing that his mother's there and she might be kind of crazy or whatever, and there's somebody who might be dead who's been missing, and I think he just recently took someone alive, So you're exploring this house, not knowing
what you're gonna find.
When you have to find all these people and apprehend them and
That's
like take them in.
That's kind of the same feeling I got when I was playing the DLC pack from Heavy Rain. That part where you have to explore that the taxidermist house, remember that?
Yeah, it reminds me of that, or say
creepy.
The farmhouse from Condemned. It's very creepy, very tense, and like it's so satisfying when everything goes off without a hitch.
Yeah.
Because it's so easy to fuck up and actually like shoot a civilian or I mean a hostage or just one of the bad guys when you're just trying to apprehend them.
Yeah.
So sort of like a good Hitman level when everything goes right. I mean, when everything goes right in a Hitman level, it's pretty. It's very, like, not a lot's going on, not a lot of action. When you do it well, sometimes it's just a single shot or like a single fiber wiring.
That's all it takes.
And that's kind of like SWAT. It's like clear, bang, boom, tase, pepper spray, shoot with like rubber bullets, and you could choose like what. items and weapons you take into
Do you
each
ever have it where you
scenario.
accidentally shoot them with the wrong bullets because you loaded it wrong or something like that? Like, how's the...
Well, you could choose whether you want to take like lethal or non-lethal weapons in there, but I mean, sometimes I kill guys as long as you get 50% on everything that it keeps track of. You beat the stage, but
so as long as you don't kill half the people, you're good.
but
That's
more
the goal,
but more so than other
that.
games, it's very much like Left 4 Dead, where you can replay these stages over and over again because it's completely randomized, so you'll have a different experience. So as soon as I beat the that serial killer level or whatever, I just did it again because it's not. You don't get that same feeling of like you do in other games where I've done this before. It was completely different.
So my question is, why has this series never made its way onto console? I mean,
well, this game came out like 5. I mean, this is older than BioShock, so it came out like a year or two before BioShock.
It's kind of a shame because that sounds really interesting, almost like.
Well, it has a lot more options than like. There's, like I said, there's a lot of depth and there's a lot of things you can do. It's not just bang and clear. There's probably like 10 different options you could do for busting through a door.
So it may not translate well to a console. Is what you're saying?
It might.
Controller limitations.
Like, it might. I think it would. I think it's kind of cool. Now, Irrational Games. Remember, they were working on a spiritual successor to SWAT.
And it didn't have zombies in it?
Exactly. It was SWAT meets Left 4 Dead. It was slower paced. It was more tactical, and you were trying to. Get through with a squad of people. I think you could do it co-op. You could do SWAT 4 co-op as well.
And then Left 4 Dead came out, and they were like, fuck, right?
Well, Left 4 Dead is still very different than what this is, where it would be a slower pace and more tactical. And kind of creepy. I mean, you got zombies banging on doors, in a way that's very different than how they work in Left 4 Dead.
Yeah.
There are slower zombies in this SWAT zombie game. But I would still have loved to play that game.
I mean, not that I'm, like, bummed about Irrational making BioShock Infinite, but I think they're kind of stuck doing BioShock now because that was their.
Well, you never know. Maybe after
hit.
BioShock comes out, or maybe the studio will get bigger and still make a SWAT game or whatever. But it was very cool.
Gotcha.
So.
Cool. Well, I'm interested in playing that one as well if I have a chance, but.